The lights at the Colosseum at Caesar's Palace are blazing. The crowd is roaring, and Jennifer Lopez is standing center stage, confident, radiant, unstoppable. But behind the flawless performance and the high-energy opening night of Up All Night Live in Las Vegas, there's a much quieter, more vulnerable story unfolding. A story that doesn't involve sold-out crowds, choreography, or chart-topping hits, but motherhood, sacrifice, and what it truly means to raise children while the world watches your every move. In an exclusive moment with Denny Directo, Jennifer Lopez opens her heart and reveals the emotional reality of raising her twins, Emme and Max, largely on her own, and why this next chapter may be the hardest goodbye she's ever faced. For years, fans have watched Jennifer Lopez dominate the entertainment industry. From music to movies to fashion to business, she has built an empire that spans decades. But behind the glam, she has been navigating one of the most challenging roles of her life, being a single mom in every sense that matters. Standing backstage at her Vegas residency, fresh off a show that took years of preparation, J.Lo admits that the hardest work she's ever done didn't happen under the spotlight. It happened at home, late at night, early in the morning, and in the quiet moments where no cameras were rolling. When Jennifer Lopez became a mother to twins, Emme Maribel Muñiz and Maximilian David Muñiz in 2008, her life changed forever. At the height of her career, she suddenly had two tiny humans depending on her for everything. And while the world saw red carpets and success, she was learning how to balance diapers with deadlines, rehearsals with bedtime stories, and international tours with parent-teacher meetings. In her conversation with Denny Directo, she doesn't sugarcoat it. She calls it beautiful, yes, but also exhausting, overwhelming, and deeply emotional. Raising twins, she explains, is unlike anything else. Two different personalities, two different emotional needs, two different journeys, all happening at the same time. Emme, artistic, sensitive, expressive, has always marched to the beat of their own drum. Max, thoughtful, observant, and quietly grounded, brings a different kind of strength into her life. Jennifer Lopez says, learning how to be present for both of them equally, without comparing, without projecting, has been one of her greatest personal challenges. What makes it even more complicated is doing it while living such a public life. J.Lo admits there were moments when guilt crept in. Guilt for leaving on tour, guilt for missing school events, guilt for not always being physically present. She says there were nights she questioned whether she was doing enough, whether she was choosing the right balance, whether her children would one day resent the sacrifices her career required. Those doubts, she reveals, never really go away. They just evolve. Despite the pressures, Jennifer Lopez made a promise early on. No matter how big her career got, her kids would always come first. She structured tours around their schedules, brought them on the road when she could, and made sure they felt included in her world, rather than sidelined by it. She says motherhood forced her to slow down in ways she never had before, to listen more, to observe more, and to measure success not by awards, but by whether Emme and Max felt safe, loved, and heard. Now, as the twins approach 17 and prepare to head off to college, that sense of time slipping away is hitting her hard. Jennifer Lopez admits that watching them become independent has been both a source of pride and heartbreak. She describes it as standing at the edge of a cliff, knowing they're ready to fly, but wishing you could hold on to them just a little longer. For someone who has always been in control, this stage of motherhood feels terrifying in a whole new way. She tells Denny Directo that letting go doesn't come naturally to her, especially when it comes to her kids. For years, she has been their protector, their anchor, their constant. Now she's learning how to step back and trust the foundation she's built. She says the goal was never to raise children who needed her forever, but to raise humans who could stand strong on their own. Still, knowing that doesn't make the goodbye any easier. The timing of this emotional transition, coinciding with the launch of Up All Night Live in Las Vegas, is not lost on her. This residency represents reinvention, resilience, and a celebration of everything she's built. Yet, behind the scenes, it also marks the closing of a chapter, the era of late-night check-ins, school drop-offs, and daily routines with her twins. Jennifer Lopez says she's learning how to sit with those mixed emotions instead of pushing them away. She also speaks candidly about the pressure of being labeled a single mom while navigating public relationships. While her love life has often been headline news, she emphasizes that her children's stability has always been her priority. She explains that even when she wasn't technically alone, the responsibility of parenting often rested on her shoulders. Making decisions, setting boundaries, providing emotional support. Those were things she took on fully, without hesitation. As Emme and Max grew older, the conversation shifted. They began asking deeper questions about identity, purpose, and the world around them. Jennifer Lopez says those moments forced her to grow alongside them. She couldn't just give rehearsed answers. She had to be honest, vulnerable, and sometimes admit she didn't have it all figured out. She believes those raw conversations are what strengthened their bond the most. She describes Emme as fearless in self-expression, someone who taught her how powerful authenticity can be. Watching Emme embrace who they are without apology inspired J.Lo to become more open and accepting, not just as a mother, but as a woman. Max, on the other hand, taught her patience and perspective. His quiet confidence, she says, reminded her that strength doesn't always need to be loud. As college looms closer, Jennifer Lopez says she's choosing to focus on gratitude instead of fear. She feels really good, she admits, not because it's easy, but because she knows they're ready. She trusts that the values she instilled, kindness, discipline, resilience, and self-respect, will guide them wherever they go. Still, she jokes that she'll probably cry the moment she sees their dorm rooms. Looking back, Jennifer Lopez acknowledges that motherhood saved her in ways nothing else ever could. It grounded her during moments of self-doubt, gave her purpose during heartbreak, and reminded her who she was beyond fame. Even on the hardest days, she says being their mom has been the greatest role of her life, one she would choose again and again. As she steps back onto the Vegas stage night after night, J.Lo carries all of that with her. The love, the fear, the pride, and the quiet ache of watching her babies grow up. The audience may see a global icon, but behind the performance is a mother navigating change, holding on to memories, and learning how to let go with grace. And maybe that's why Jennifer Lopez feels more powerful than ever. Not because she's conquered the world, but because she's learned how to show up fully, honestly, and unapologetically for the people who matter most. As Emme and Max prepare to step into their own futures, one thing is certain. No matter how far they go, they will always carry a piece of their mother's strength with them.